Good Monday morning, everybody. It is April 24th, and I'm Chris Allen. Here on the SAM channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Weather stick, as you see, is blue again today, and that means pretty nice weather, even though it is chilly. But if you've been watching me lately, you know that it's going to stay on the chillier side of things over the coming days. This is, I've had everybody argue from blackberry winter, and then somebody says, no, the blackberries, you don't go into blackberry winter until the blackberries are fully in bloom. Some of you have your blackberries in bloom. Others say it's linen breeches winter. Others, the argument, this is why we can never settle on what winter it is. And that's why I just stopped keeping up with it, because I would get so many arguments from people saying, no, you're wrong. It ain't blackberry winter. It ain't dogwood winter. It ain't Lenny Bridges weather. That's the last one that comes. It ain't. I'm just like, okay, smile and walk away, whatever you say. But it is a cool spell. We'll just call it that here at the end of April. So it's it is what it is, and you know it's not going to last. So here we go. Look at high pressure on both sides of just a little bit of an upper trough. You see that broken line. I always call it a straw, because usually that straw, if it's attached to a low pressure system down south of us, then it usually just sucks up moisture our direction. Well, this one's unattached to anything south of us, so it's just kind of moving across the area, not really producing anything, but it is going to keep us kind of on the cool side of things today, in between that high pressure ridge. So skies will be sunny today. They're clear this morning. There may be a little bit of patchy frost in a couple of spots to start out the morning. But other than that, we are looking at some very tranquil weather, but on the chillier side of things, as I mentioned, for today. And really for the rest of the week, we're going to stay chilly. So here's a look at the 10-day blender, just to prove to you how we're going to shake all this out here in the next few days. We're looking at maybe near 60 today. We hit 58 yesterday. Yesterday was a beautiful day, few clouds here and there, but 58 is where we landed in Bowling Green officially. 73 is where we should be on average. So that 58 degrees for a high was 15 degrees below average. And we're going to stay below average, as you see right there, all the way through the rest of this week. And not until we get into the first few days of May do we see any recovery back into the 70s or close to average temperature. So the next several days are going to continue to be on the cool side of things, 60s, just 60s during the day, and during the night. Well, like tonight, we could have one more sort of frosty night with temperatures in the mid 30s. And then you see the lows will start to recover into the 40s and 50s eventually. But this week, if you're looking for warm weather, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. We do have some rain chances coming up, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. Right now, let's take a look at the Kentucky Mesonet sites as of about 5 minutes before 5 a.m. on this Monday. Most everyone is starting out in the 30s, but I have seen a few 20s here and there. Like there's a 29 down in Cumberland County, near Burkesville, near the river. Chilliest spot usually. But here's one that's chillier, 27 in Campbellsville in Taylor County. And then you see 30s elsewhere. There's a 26. Meade County up in Brandenburg is the chilly spot around here this morning. So everybody is leveled off in temperature, even though we have a clear and stable air mass. It just, when the cold is more compact than warm air. So when that chill settles down over the area, it tends to bring everybody down with it. So that's why we're all fairly equal in temperature this morning than we have been on those warmer days when we see temperatures all over the place. That's not going to happen today. All right, let's go to the model map here and I'll show you what to expect in the coming days. Pretty quiet weather until we get into, say, Wednesday, maybe even Tuesday night for some of you that live west of Bowling Green with the next round of rain, but it's rain, uh, not storms. The flow, the warmer flow, is south of us. The jet stream is kind of broken into two pieces. We have a northern jet and a southern jet. These have decoupled. In other words, they're not together anymore. And so what's happening is we're getting the cooler side of this jet, and you see high pressure, strong high pressure, and the flow that's coming down out of Canada. This is why we're chilly, and we're going to stay relatively on the cooler side of temperatures as we go through this week. So let's put it into motion here. We go through today, not much going on, high pressure, making sure we stay high and dry. Now we go into Tuesday. There's a little disturbance north of us that may clip maybe the Cincinnati area. Notice the retreat of the upper jet or the northern jet, the cooler side of things, is staying north of us. Then we start to see a warmer, much warmer flow coming in by the time we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is going to help us gradually, but very slowly start to warm up. You get a 994 millibar, excuse me, low out in the out into New Mexico and Arizona and Colorado, Wyoming. All of this starting to ramp up some shower and thunderstorm activity in the south central plains. But this is going to be one of those situations where when it tries to make a run at us, all we're going to get out of this is some overflow shower activity because then the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic start to open up. So we start to get a little bit more activity as far as moisture trying to work back in here. But remember, we're still going to be under this big influence of high pressure. So this is going to have a hard time trying to work into our area. And it will eventually set off some rain, I think, by Wednesday and for the rest of the week. But it's just not. Let me go back to that. You see how it just sits out here in the south central plains and just continues to rain there. It's going to take a while before that tries to swing up into Tennessee and eventually into Kentucky. But it will. We'll get some overflow, some backflow, because look, this high, I mean, you see how strong it is. It's a 1027 millibar. This thing doesn't want to go away. So that's why the temperatures are going to stay more on the cooler side of average. Again, the average is 73. We're going to stay, as you saw, in the 60s all week long. It's not until maybe the middle of next week or beginning of next week do we try to warm back into the 70s. And this piece of energy, this upper jet or this northern jet, the colder side of things, finally goes away. But not until then, do we even think about warming up that much. It's just going to be cool, mainly dry until about Wednesday or Thursday. Then we start to see just light rain. This is not going to be a stormy situation. It's not going to be heavy rain. It's just going to be general light rain. And here are the maps to show you what's going on over the next several days. Let's go to later today. You can see that high pressure does hang on for us and into tonight, into tomorrow afternoon. Actually, here's tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening, there may be some light rain that starts to, a lot of this is coming up from the high pressure moving east, as I mentioned. And then there's disturbed weather in the Gulf and in southern Mexico or northern Mexico, southern Texas. And then you get these little pieces of energy that try to straw up the moisture from the south. This front is just going to fall apart. This is the main front back west. So here we are, Wednesday, Tuesday night, actually, into Wednesday. Watch this front begin to fall apart as high pressure builds back behind it. And we're still being influenced some by the high pressure that moves into the Atlantic. And there it goes. It's gone. So all we get is just a little bit of light rain. There's not much more that we're going to get out of this. You see the little bit of a trough here that comes through on Friday, maybe enhances the rain a little bit. And then we get the main low pressure system, but still it's not very strong. 1004 millibar. We're not looking at heavy rain here or really thunderstorms. There might be one or two. And then by next Sunday, Saturday into Sunday, it's gone. It goes over the Great Lakes. It's really non-eventful, which is something that all of us, no matter where you are, could do without. We don't need any more severe weather events. We don't need any more flooding. We don't need any more strong storms and winds and all that. This is going to be a very tame week, even though there are showers in the forecast. It's just not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, headed to the radio station, Sam 100.7 on your dial this morning to start the morning show at 6 a.m. I hope that you'll join me for that. In the meantime, thank you for watching. God bless you. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you on the radio.